All right, and hello guys, and welcome back here to the NCPreps live video. Pleasure to be joined by the head football coach of the University of North Carolina, Coach Mack Brown. Coach, we appreciate you coming on with Deana and myself today to talk a little bit about some high school football, and just a pleasure to have you on, sir.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to be on. I appreciate what you and Deana do for high school athletics in this state. Coaches and players are lucky to have you. And I was so disappointed to hear we're not going to play this fall. First time in my life, I guess everybody's that's been a high school football fan for years, that we're not going to see it in the fall. And I'm really going to miss Friday nights. It's going to be tough, but thank goodness it looks like we're playing February 22nd. So appreciate you guys helping so many young people get some exposure and get evaluations during this difficult time.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Coach. And you're right. I mean, it is a different time for all of us to be involved, not only with just high school athletics, but just athletics in general. But you know, the topic of this show is obviously the high school football side of things. And first question I really wanted to dive in and ask you was, since your first stint as the head coach at UNC, and obviously your time before that even at Appalachian State, how has the landscape of North Carolina high school football as a whole, with the evolution of talent and the population driving up and just everything, just tell us how high school football has changed since your first time here and now here the last year and a half?
Chris, the first thing I would say is that with the population growth, there's so many more players in this state than there were when I was here before. And it's just so evident. I mean, you start looking at, there's still a lot of guys in the East that are a little bit hard to find because you have to drive to find them. But places like Charlotte, there weren't this many players in Charlotte when I was here before. And now it's a mecca of high school football when you go down there and look in Greensboro and just across Winston-Salem, across the state. Our coaches are doing a great job. I'm really proud that High School Coaches Association, that a group of us started 30-something years ago, is really flourished now, and it's going really strong in Greensboro every February. So I like what I see, and hopefully with us being here, we can really promote high school football in this state and help our coaches.
Hey, Coach, thank you for being here. I'm going to piggyback a little bit off what Chris said. You have been in Texas, so you've seen high school football at that level. And just compare it to North Carolina, and do you think North Carolina can compare that gap, that the prestige of Texas high school football, and what's the stature and improve their stature in the national scene?
Deana, I do, simply because our coaches are superstars. Some of them don't even work at the school. They have another job, and they do such a great job of coming over with assistants, some that aren't in the school as well, and they've done a great job of coaching these young people. And we had a Zoom clinic when they told us we couldn't go out for spring recruiting every Wednesday. And we had a different coach on every Wednesday, and it was so well attended that our coaches want to learn, and they want to do a great job. And last year we had over 400 coaches that came to our clinic. So I feel like that we're in a great place right now with high school football in this state, and will continue to grow.
Well, Coach, I've been to some of your coaches' clinics and listened to you talk about how important high school football is. And I often say that high school football is the backbone of all schools, and it's really the fabric of the communities that we live in. But just tell us and the people out there watching why you feel that football is such an important component, not only to the schools, the growth of the student athletes, but also just the community in general.
I was lucky, Chris. I was raised by a grandfather named Eddie Jelly Watson, and he was winningest high school football coach in Middle Tennessee history for a long time. And he took me to so many colleges to watch them practice. And I was riding the bus with him when I was 4 and 5 years old with a little letter jacket going to his games. And the stadium's named after him in Cookeville, Tennessee at Putnam County High School. So I really learned the importance of high school football at a very young age. And I grew up with it. I used to sit and watch film with him. At that time, it was film. We didn't have video for sure. And we wouldn't have college football without high school football. It is the feeder system. And these coaches do a great job of getting these young guys prepared for us. And we wouldn't have the NFL without high school football. And the guys don't get paid what they should. They're worth a whole lot more money to the community and to the school and to these kids, because they are a voice in each one of these towns and cities. So they just do a great job, because they coach for the love of the game and the love of these young people. They don't coach for the money, or they wouldn't be doing it. So I just feel like that these coaches are the spirit in their communities. They're leaders in their communities, and no more important time than now with COVID to have them taking care of families and kids and making sure that everybody holds it together here during these very difficult times. And their attitudes were wonderful when we'd have our Zoom meetings. I started every one of them off, and you wouldn't even know that things were bad out there, because they're picking it up. And great leaders take crisis and turn them into positives. And that's what these guys are doing.
Coach, you mentioned playing high school football in the Middle Tennessee. How was your playing high school career in Tennessee, and what eventually led you into the coaching field?
Deana, we were lucky. I had an older brother, Watson. I have an older brother, Watson, that was a year and a half older than I was, and he was the quarterback. I was the tailback, and even at that time, we started running the run and shoot. So we were spread out and throwing the ball all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. I caught 66 balls as a junior in high school from my brother, and then I had to play quarterback and tailback my senior year. But the other thing about high school coaches are so important. David Bucky Pitts was my high school coach. He was an All-American at Middle Tennessee State, and he served in our military. And to this day, he's one of the strongest influences in my life. And if you start asking everybody, list the 5 most important people in your life, guys that played high school football are usually going to go back, and they're going to talk about their high school football coach. And especially if you won. We won all the games my junior year, and we're still very, very close as a team. 2 of our guys on that team have come to see us play once a year the 32 years that I've been a head coach. And they came last year to our Duke game. And it's really, really important to me that you keep those ties together, because your friendships that are built by sports and camaraderie and team and winning that were established by that head football coach are ones that are friends for a lifetime.
Well, Coach Brown, I really appreciate your time and getting on here with Deana and myself and the whole entire crew with everybody watching at NCPreps. Before I let you go, just any final words that you want to give to the student athletes, any message from you before we let you go today?
Yeah, Chris and Deana, number 1, thanks for all you do. Number 2, in talking to all of you student athletes out there, the most important thing for any of us, that's Chris, that's Deana, that's me, that's your coaches, your principals, is that you're safe. So talk to us. We've got to do a better job with the social injustice out there and COVID out there. We've got to talk to each other. We've got to communicate. So don't be scared. Don't get upset. Ask us. Talk to us. Because there's not a coach or person or principal or superintendent in this country that wants you to play unless you're safe. And I think that's our message. So even if you're at practice in February and you don't feel good, tell your coach, Coach, let me step back a little bit here. I'd like to talk to a doctor. We're fine. We're fine. We just want to make sure you're safe. And I've told Bubba Cunningham and Chancellor Gustowitz, safety is the first thing for me. As long as they're safe, let's play. I'm excited about it and can't wait. But if at any point we don't feel like they're safe and I wouldn't want my son or my grandson playing, then we shouldn't play. So for you young guys, trust your adults, trust your mentors, trust your coaches, because they want what's best for you.
Well, Coach, thanks again for joining us. For Deana and myself, thank you, and have a great season, and we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you both. Stay safe
Thank
and
you.
take care of
Thank you,
yourself.
Coach. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you, Deana.